Good morning, dear students. Welcome in online classes. Dear students, the last day we will discuss about that the Renaissance. What is the meaning of the Renaissance and what is the feature of the Renaissance? And also we will discuss about that what was the causes of Renaissance, like that geographical explorations, fall of Constantinople, invention of printing press, new trade routes. So these all topics are discussed the last turn in your history. Now today our topic is impact of Renaissance and on art, architecture and painting. So dear students, today our topic is what is the impact of Renaissance in the different fields. Dear students, before the talking about that the impact of the Renaissance, firstly we again want to discuss about that the mainly the causes of the Renaissance was that the scientific development, means the scientific development resulted from the spirit of inquiry, okay, and produce more thinking on rational and scientific line. As example, if you see that in the scientific development, then last day we discussed that the scientific development give a now new blow to old beliefs and blind faith damages and unchallenged superiority of the church. These all are discussed because after the development of the science, so many new inventions, as example Roger Bacon thought of horseless carriage and the flying machine. Copernicus also proved that the earth moves round the sun. Galileo invented the telescope. This invention broadened the mental horizon of the people, and finally they began to think of something new, okay, new ideas and adventurous in every field of life. So after the development of the science, the beliefs of the peoples present on based on the scientific knowledge, and also the human value, projection of human values, this is also discussed before that. Projection of human values after the Renaissance, the very important of the human values and humanism during the medieval period. Everything was subjected to religion, theology and the divinity. The study of old classical literature, like that, so many changes, and brought about a revolutionary changes in the whole outlook of man, his nature, his interest and his capacity. So this is the way these all things are given the important base for the growth of Renaissance. And then today we again after the Renaissance, what was the give the impact on the painting, art and architecture. So dear student, see the paragraph first. The spirit of Renaissance and humanism pervaded all the fields of art such as paintings, sculptures and architecture. In the Middle Ages, the church, Christ, Mary, sons, etc. dominated art. It did not portray natures and human life. Nature and human life. In the Renaissance, art, the aesthetics began to be led on nature's beauty, grace, elegance and humanity. Not so much know the otherworldly subject. The artists were now interested in man and his life. Let us know a little more about this. My dear students, the paragraph, according to the paragraph, this is the very important changes in all the fields, like that arts, painting, sculptures and architectures. Especially in the painting, the Italian painter Leonardo da Vinci produced some world famous painting like Mona Lisa painting. If you see that the Mona Lisa painting, this is a very famous in painters. This was painted by the very famous painter known as the Leonardo da Vinci. Mona Lisa is a 16th century portrait pattern in oil on a popular panel by Leonardo da Vinci during the Italian Renaissance. इटली में जो Renaissance स्टार्ट हुआ उसमें जो इम्पॉर्टेंट चेंजेस हुआ पेंटिंग में, उसमें लियोनार्डो की जो पेंटिंग थी 3D, ये बड़ी ही लोकप्रिय और बहुत ही फेमस हुई. देन आफ्टर so many other painter like that Raphael's masterpiece painting of Since Time, Madonna. He was a great artist of the Florentine school, and he also remained his Pope's service for several years. So dear, so many development in the fields of painting. Last Supper, the Mona Lisa, and the Last Supper were the unique painting produced by Leonardo da Vinci. So the growth of painting is continuing going on after the Renaissance, and after that, if we see that, then we also see about that in the field of architecture. And one of the greatest achievements of the Renaissance architects was that they rejected the old Gothic style, the old classical Gothic style rejected of architecture, and expected the Greco-Roman classical architecture, Greco-Roman. Now Gothic style replaced by new art and architecture. Those are known as the Greco-Roman classical architecture. Some of the outstanding features of the Renaissance architecture were the imposing domes, round arches, big porches, and tall columns. St. Peter Church at Rome is an example in the field of architecture, which can hold 80,000 people at a time and has 400 feet high dome, is one of the finest example of the Renaissance architecture. St. Paul at London, St. Mark at Vinci, these all are the finest example of the architecture. Then after music is also after the Renaissance so much the growth and the classical influence. The Renaissance music was also freed from the classical influence. New musical instrument like violin and piano became popular after the Renaissance. A great states now began to be laid on harmony and sweetness of sound. So dear students, we can say the Renaissance also gave the broad changes in the field of music, field of art, architecture, and also music states was now laid on harmony and sweetness. अब म्यूजिक जो थी उसमें एक स्वीटनेस आई, एक हार्मनी आई, and new instrument like piano and violin became the most popular. Many of the musicians, Palestrine, Gabrieli, and Vilcata were the musicians of distinction of this age. So it is also the beginning of the growth of music. And if you see that impact of science, so science is also developed after the Renaissance. Like that, Renaissance left a lasting impact in the field of science. As already above we see that Roger Bacon was the first to lay stress on scientific thinking and investigation. He wanted to find answers to what, why and how. कोई चीज़ है तो क्यों है, उसका रीजन क्या है, उसके पीछे लॉजिक क्या है. So everything around, as a result, lot of development in science took place. Like that, in field of astronomy, so many development. The first important breakthrough was in the field of astronomy. For centuries it was believed that all heavenly bodies, including the sun, go round the earth once in a 24 hours. The Polish priest Copernicus rejected this and proved that is the earth and other planet which moved around the sun, not sun round the earth, and that the earth is round in shape. Later on, German astronomer John Kepler also proved that these planets move around the sun in a elliptical orbit, not in a round circle. Galileo, the Italian astronomer, invented the telescope to study of the movement of heavenly body. So we can say that in the field of astronomy, so many development continue going on after the Renaissance, because the Copernicus proved that the earth is round the sun and not sun round the earth, and it is also proved that by the astronomer John Kepler that the planet moved around the sun in a elliptical orbit, not in a round circle. Galileo also invented the telescope. With the help of the telescope, we all see the study and the movement of the heavenly body, and thus he confirmed the theory propounded by Copernicus. Then he proved the theory, and now the confirm after the telescope, after the invention of the telescope, the theory those are given by Copernicus, it is proved. Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravitation. Yes, Isaac Newton, I hope that you all are familiar with the name of Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton also proved after the Renaissance the law of gravitation, that all bodies move according to this law. So dear students, these all are the changes after the Renaissance in the field of science, and it is also give the broad and important impact in the field of science. I hope that you also know about that Sir Isaac Newton, fellow of Royal Society, was an English physicist, mathematician, astronomer, natural philosopher. So by many as the greatest scientist in the history of mankind for his extensive work on natural philosophy and its evolution into science, he is known as the father of science. Yes, Isaac Newton, known as the father of science. I hope that you know. Yes, picture also given. Isaac Newton, he known as the father of science. Okay, now the Renaissance also gave the important changes in the field of physics. In the field of physics, Stephen discovered the law of parallelogram of the forces. Galileo, who was also a physicist, successfully proved that the speed of falling body depend upon distance, not upon weight. Yes, he also invented the thermometer and hydrostatic balances. In this way, he provided the basic law of modern dynamics. So dear student, it also gives the broad changes in the field of physics, and so many changes in the fields of biology, chemistry and medicine. If you see that, so many changes in the study of human anatomy, vessels and the other important changes have been proved that the functioning of human body depend upon the circulation of human blood from heart to all part of the body. Okay, so it is also the changes in the field of biology, chemistry and medicine, physics, astronomy and the field of art and architecture. After that, mathematics. After the Renaissance, mathematics, so many changes in the field of mathematics. The Arab taught algebra and numerals to the West. Yes, it is also known. I hope that you all are familiar. The Arab के द्वारा अरबों ने क्या सिखाया था? Algebra और numerics to the West. Modern geometry was systemized by this Descartes. Descartes introduced analytical geometry, while Stevin taught a decimal system of coin.